So the clock's going to strike 4, and then 3 minutes will go by, and that's when the guards are going to swap. That's when we need to switch. You and I both.
And is that when I go in?
Yes, that's when
Okay.
you go in. Mark's going to be him, right here on the corner, in the blue.
Okay.
Good luck.
Good luck.
What do you mean?
Well, good luck.
Good luck to you too.
You're coming.
I'm coming.
Yes, of course. You're the nobility. We need you.
Oh, that's fair.
Won't work otherwise.
Well, I might have to change my shirt then.
No, you're fine.
That's
I'm
fine.
going to go in and I'm going to chat him up, and then you're going to come in and be aggressive and angry.
Oh,
Right?
well, I like that.
If anything goes wrong, you got my arrow.
All right.
What would you like me to do?
I didn't even see you there.
Oh,
Why you can guard the door. You can watch.
Which door?
The one outside, the furthest one outside.
Our
In fact,
door?
you could
Yep.
even right here. You could just stay right here.
Don't even have to move.
Well, can't I? Perhaps you'll need a strong arm?
he is stronger than I am, actually.
I'm considerably stronger.
Yeah, but
Yes.
the noble's not going to fight.
Shield?
Right.
No.
Hopefully, yes. If this
Nope,
is done
we're-
correctly, no
Yeah,
need
if it's done correctly, I'm
to
gonna
sword.
take the thing off of him and
Right, but I've been sat outside for weeks.
You're a master at it.
well, if you're looking for action, we can arrange that.
Right, yes.
Dimples.
But what? Why does everybody keep calling me Dimples?
Because you've got cute dimples.
Yes, but I went to the baker the other day and he called me Dimples. Why is everybody here calling me Dimples?
I was just thinking that this mission we're doing, or heist, or scheme, or whatever you want to call it,
Job.
job. Job.
Wait, you're doing a
Doing
heist?
jobs makes me feel
No,
very...
no. That's a bit of a strong word. We're not doing a heist. I'm just taking something that we need. That's it. I think I saw something
What?
Like-
What did you see?
around the corner there. You go check it out.
Yeah, someone could be here.
Oh.
All right, yes. We'll have to save this conversation for later.
Yeah, we'll work you in.
Hurry!
Very well.
So the clock's going to strike 4, and then the 3 minutes will go, and then these guards are going to swap. You come in.
In front of the sewers, locally called the Mouth of the Dead, the party decides how they want to meet with the dead ends.
So, what? Do we just waltz in there and then you summon them? I've never actually seen you do this. What's the plan?
Galen is, our elf in very fine clothing, who usually looks quite lively and pleasant because he's not shady. He's looking somewhat tired of late, bit of bags under his eyes, because as you all know, because you've seen this this last week he's not really slept much at all. He spent the days in his books, right, in our new hideout, just reading through old tomes, books, dealing with small herbs, and then at night he would go out and walk the streets searching. So he spent just an entire week with very little sleep, very little food, not taking care of himself particularly well. It's a sort of a... Kyria has seen this before. Skyless may not actually care so much. Galen tries to make it so that, has tried in the past at least, so that Cessair has not seen this, but it's how he gets sometimes when he gets obsessed with a project. And the project was trying to find a way to get access to a gang that he'd heard about, the Dead Ends, who, from what he'd heard, rumors, perhaps from a friend, were undead, living an undead gang in the city, but being undead is not particularly... how would you describe that, GM? Not particularly...
Lord of Helios, if you refer to me, please.
Oh, of course. Of course. My understanding is that it's not particularly legal.
No, just a note, necromancy is an affront to God.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, what really is necromancy? That's such... I mean, I really feel like it's sort of unclear what is and what isn't necromancy.
I think you know.
Do I? I don't know why I would. I don't think Cessair has seen Galen in his deep, deep obsession, but it's been a week of... I don't know what anyone else is doing, but he was in a small room in this hideout just obsessively poring over notes and getting incense and supplies and just not eating or sleeping and muttering to himself. And then at night wandering around the city until it was time to wake up and he would come back in and start studying again. And I believe it was just recently, shortly before this moment, a daybreak perhaps, he came back with this look and he says, "I found the mouth. I think I know where they are." It is, I believe it's a sort of a lonely, if I remember correctly, a lonely manhole cover in some alley.
That is correct, yes.
He would lead everyone to.
You're already there.
And it is this manhole cover, and there's this look of excitement in his eyes. And he says, "Here, underneath this manhole cover, in the sewers, this is where they are."
Yes, Galen, we've been over that. But what's the plan? Are we just gonna walk in, or do you need to knock? Do you need to summon someone?
I don't think they're spirits, but I've brought supplies just in case. You are charming, Kyria, as always. I imagine we go down in there and we see if they will speak with us and try to make friends.
Okay. Try to make friends. I can do that. We can do that. We can do that, right?
Yes, I feel as if we make friends first, we can ask for information or favors later.
Okay. Skaz, can you help me with the manhole cover?
Wait. Cessair, you are fit, muscular. Why don't you lift the manhole cover?
We're going into the sewer.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant that we were meeting near the sewer, or that it was called the... They're in the sewer.
Yes, it's not a bar named the sewer. It is the sewers.
You can't take Kyria into the sewer.
I appreciate the concern, but I assure you can.
Well, why on earth would they meet us in the sewer?
I think that's where they are. That's where they live. You know,
Why?
like our hideout, they have their own hideout.
Well, it's nothing
like
like our hideout, especially our new one.
No, I know, it's nice. Well, we don't know what it's like down there.
Perhaps they have carpets in the sewers. I don't know. I mean, they might have lovely couches.
Wouldn't it get moldy?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
let me go first then, I suppose. And you just want me to lift this here?
Yep.
Up. Easy. No problem. Okay.
Come on.
All the way up. Oh,
Yep,
Yes.
and just slide it over. Yep, there you go. And then
Slide it
just set
over.
it down as
Okay.
quietly as possible.
No problem.
Quietly.
There we go.
Okay. Is anybody around? Should we just go now?
That's
Go
my
now,
workout
go now,
for the
go
day,
now.
I
Yep, go.
suppose.
Am I going? I'm going now.
Well, you shouldn't go first. Perhaps I should go first?
Okay, well then go first.
Cessair, just note, some of the people that we meet down there might be, decomposing?
What?
Well, yeah, they're undead.
I like to
Right.
think of it more as in a different state of life.
Is that going to bother you?
Well, do they still retain their personalities and...
They have spirits.
Mm, well, I suppose that's not my problem. Everyone's
Skyless.
people, right?
Everyone's people.
Yes, and we're
Yes.
here to
Right.
make friends.
Right,
Skyless.
make friends. Okay.
It's, you've been standing out here too long, Skyless.
Hey,
Go
Gotta
ahead,
go.
Dimples.
go.
Okay then. Off I go then. Just gonna head on down.
Okay, me next.
Smells awful.
Help me down.
Oh, my lady.
Hey.
Thank you.
Put out my hand instinctually before Skyless can do it, but he just didn't even think about that as he helps Kyria down. Skyless, would you help me down?
Hey.
He bends down and lowers a hand.
Grab his
Keeps
hand
an eye out.
to help me lower down.
Wow. Right.
Well, hello there. It smells absolutely terrible down
Wretched,
here.
absolutely wretched.
Would you like to? You can climb on my back, Kyria, if you'd like. I think I can probably
Oh
carry you.
no, that's not necessary.
Put your shoes in the
But
the water.
well, I can get new ones. But should we close the manhole cover, or at least kind of
Yes.
hide that it's open?
Cesare?
Light shines down from the manhole cover.
Right. Yes. Okay. Fine. I'll go and.
Where's Skyless?
Skyless?
I'm here.
Oh, can you close the manhole cover at least a little bit?
You know, physical brute acts of strength I find Cesare is quite good at, and it keeps him in practice.
Keeps him entertained.
Solid as a rock.
Yes, quite.
It's true.
Well,
Lithe and I'm quick too.
yes, you are quick and very good with a sword, which is why we have you here, just in case.
Very well. Yes. And swords work on the undead, do they?
I hope so.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Sure it will.
We just...
There's no reason why that would have happened.
Well, Skyless, I imagine you would like to go first? Cesare, perhaps you might cover our rear.
Other way around. You cover the rear.
Fair.
Right. I'll scout ahead then.
Don't...
Which way is ahead? Is it that way or that way?
Yeah, which way are we going? I mean,
Why would they live
le-
down here though?
lead the way. Well, I mean, technically,
Wait.
I don't think necromancy's allowed, so I don't even know if they're allowed to be here.
Let's
What?
not speak about that. About what's allowed and what's not. Really, everything's allowed when you have enough knowledge. Let me see.
Well, I was just explaining that's why they would live down here, right?
You know, legalities. Not so important. Let me see what I can see. I place this mask on my face. A spirit mask. And then I pull out like a lace handkerchief that has a bit of scent upon it. And I close my eyes and hum. And as I hum, when I open my eyes again, there's a different... No, they're not a different color, but a different intensity. And I would like to make an attune roll to see if I can determine where our friends might be, or our new ones.
That's fair. That's very fair, Galen. Now, I do want to let you know you're in a risky situation here. As in, you are entering someone's turf. Uninvited.
Well, that's why we are at the entrance. We don't
Absolutely.
go in
So,
deeply.
I'd say you're able to, your position is risky and your effect is gonna be standard. Just right in the middle.
So, let me roll my attune
Please.
And I bring up my cane, and I sort of wave it about like a dowsing rod as I have this mask on my face. And the cane head glows with arcane energy, with a little bit of sort of a... You said it was a standard or great effect?
Standard effect.
Thank you. A 4, which is partial.
That is a partial success.
And I think a little bit of a lightning sort of dances around the head, as you can tell. Maybe this is not an actual normal cane.
There. Well, you can get the rough direction of where they might be, though it is hard to pinpoint, and you feel necromantic energy surrounding you. So it's a little hard to pinpoint exactly, but you think you have the right direction.
Césaire, that way.
Right.
As
yeah.
I sort of point.
And we're expected.
No. We are introducing ourselves.
Right. Very well. Off I go.
So you're taking the lead, Césaire?
I am.
And I'm very close behind him, just in case. I don't want anything to happen to him. Or
Who's taking up the rear?
Skyless,
Skyless.
probably.
Aye.
I was going to assume that, but I wanted to make sure. The four of you walk down. You recall maybe just for a brief moment, right? Loesch was out getting information on the city's needs. He probably didn't want to be in the city sewers anyway. And you walk, and as you continue walking down this sewer, maybe staying on the side so you're not treading through the headed rot that is washing in the waters. Your nose is salted with decay and other things left to the imagination. And
which I find fascinating.
maybe after a few minutes, the smell of decay grows stronger. Light up ahead, a couple 100 feet down. Seems you've taken more of a westerly direction from when you started.
Are we?
What are your thoughts, Kira?
Mine, I am trying really hard to keep composure and not vomit because it's unladylike.
That's fair. Must keep up appearances.
Yes, absolutely. But it's very difficult because it's pretty rancid down here. I've also ruined my dress, but I already said it was fine. But
You
it's
did.
mildly annoying,
Of course. Replacing those isn't cheap.
and I need it for my work.
Yeah, you do. Skyless, what are your thoughts as you're walking down in the sewers?
There isn't much vantage here. Up ahead is dark. Behind is dark. I don't like it. But I could hear where everyone is. I also could see that. We're fine for now, Heist. We better get paid from this, that's all. It's better be worth it.
Who's gonna pay you?
I don't know. Don't care.
Alright. Galen, thoughts? How you feeling right now?
Excited. I mean, we're just getting closer and closer to knowledge. Oh. I reach into one of my inner pockets and I pull out a lace handkerchief and I hand it to Kyria.
Perfumed already, I'd assume?
Indeed, perfumed. Over your nose.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. Of course. But this is the smell of not fresh bodies. How interesting.
Césaire,
Fascinating.
what are your
I'm sure.
thoughts?
I'm very confused as to how we would be meeting these people in a sewer and what they quite meant by undead, whether they meant undead or whether they just, that was one of their code words that they often use.
Hmm. You're not
Mostly I'm
sure?
just-
You're not sure at all? No.
No, I don't think I need to worry about that right now. My job at the moment is to introduce us.
Fair, focused, I like that. I like that.
Should we be concerned with what you like?
That's your choice, not mine. But as you continue to walk, and it's a little more pleasant for you now, Iria, with the handkerchief and the perfumes, of course.
Césaire,
Oh, that's fine. Take your time.
I just want you to know that if we are successful in this, making friends with these people, we may be able to find your brother's spirit, where it's being held prisoner. So this is important. To you. To me. To all of us.
Yes, very well. If his spirit is indeed trapped, then we have to free him.
His spirit is trapped. As he was murdered by your father, he came to me in a vision, calling out for help and crying in pain as your father tortured him, piece by piece. And as his spirit was leaving his body,
I reach out and I touch your arm.
and a
Maybe.
kind of this weird tension that was all in his body just relaxes just a little bit with your touch.
Maybe. Not now. And I kind of like gesture towards him.
Yes. But he was stolen.
Well, if they can help us, perhaps I should introduce us to them then. Hello?
The light grows brighter as you approach.
Fair warning! Approaching!
Hello?
Approaching. We're here!
Step into a chamber. Water dripping down into a large open crevasse. Well lit. There are rugs. There are chairs. The smell is still there, but reduced. Maybe incense wafts. As you enter this round chamber, much larger than you'd expect to have in a sewer, of course, but still here. People seem to be ambling. Or shambling.
Humble. Hello, my name is Césaire Gray, and this is introducing Galen, son of Helios.
And Elodie. L.
Most of them pay you no mind. They seem to be in their own little world.
What do I do now?
Hello?
Well, that was easy.
Are you approaching them?
I will a little bit, yeah. Kind of like
Careful,
bend
careful.
down a little bit. Just kind of like, lean in. Hello? Try to make eye contact with someone.
Here, careful.
The one that you approach, Iria. There's an arm missing, and they
Oh, God.
turn and look at you, and their face is, for lack of a better term, sloughing off.
Hi.
And They look at you with empty eyes.
We were hoping we could speak with someone here. We're looking for someone we lost.
Their one arm points at the other end of the chamber to a door, and it falls limp.
I muster the courage, but I gently touch that arm and smile. Thank you so much. I'll get
You
up.
see half the face lift up in a smile,
And I'll
and
get
then
up
flop back down.
and wave everyone over. It's this way.
Right, so it was real undead. Like, really, really...
Look,
And what's the difference between a ghost and a
Well, I think a
well,
ghost.
like a body?
Well, I think a ghost doesn't have the flesh cage part. And also,
Yeah,
I don't know how you thought I was gonna entice them. They're
Well,
Well,
barely.
then what's the difference between them and us?
Well,
Aren't we a flesh
Okay.
cage for our souls?
Well, I
Yes,
guess, if
actually.
you put it that way.
I like to think of it more as a vessel than a flesh cage.
So then what's an undead?
Just a decayed vessel,
Reliving?
reanimated, maybe.
There are
Revivified.
answers to these questions, which I don't know if you really need to know at this moment, Césaire. There's a process.
Very well. If you
Right.
say so. I mean, if there was any moment to need to know it. Right, no, okay. Would you like me to go and knock on that door that he pointed at?
Aye.
I don't mind. They
Okay,
seem,
I'll
they
do
seem
it.
friendly enough. No, I mean, I don't mind. Well, you can knock and I'll go in first.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Right, well, I'll be right behind you should anything go, wrong.
I got your back.
Thank you.
Introducing
Elodie. Elodie.
Elodie.
Thank you.
Ellen Elodie of
Just Elodie.
Helios. Resident.
I'm not a resident. Oh,
I thought we were pretending that we were from
no.
here.
No.
But then they'll
It's-
find out that we're
it's-
not and we don't have a writ.
It's fine.
What do we do
Wow.
about the writ?
Shut up. Shh. We
The
have
knock
one.
echoes in the chamber upon this oaken door.
You beautiful boy. Don't talk about the rent. Okay.
You keep confusing me with all the different...
We have one. We have one. I'll knock on the
The door
again.
creaks open.
After you, milady.
Thank you. Hello?
You look into the dimly lit room. It reminds you of a throne room almost. See a chair, deep, beset with velvet and gold, sitting in the back. Empty.
It's empty. Are there any lights in here?
There are.
Is it
cold
candlelight
blue.
or okay?
It's
Magic?
candlelight, but probably magic. Yes.
Okay. And this is so strange, but does it look used? This place?
Oh, absolutely.
Great.
The tables are lined. There's no food on them.
But I don't see anyone here, and the throne is empty. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. I hold a hand up behind me to have Dimples wait, and then I will slowly and elegantly walk forward to the throne. I stop the appropriate distance. I bow, I curtsy rather. Elodie before you, my lord. And I wait.
I am no lord.
I'm sorry, it's my first time here and I don't know how to address you. How should I address you, sir?
And behind the throne steps out a ghoul.
I avoid eye contact as I should.
Large fangs dripping with mucus. Hunched over, back bent, spine barely supporting its weight. Lordly robes, though tattered, it does wear. And it steps out and puts a hand on the side of the throne and stands next to it.
I remain in my curtsy, my gaze forward at the floor, until he gives me permission to rise, if at all.
Raise your head, I am no lord.
And how should I address you, sir?
Wretch.
I'm sorry. Wretch?
Yes. Other companions may enter.
Thank you, Sir Wretch. And
I am no sir.
Thank you, Wretch. My apologies. And I'll usher them in.
I enter next, and I stride up right next to Kyria, perhaps a half a step behind her, out of respect of her position, and I bow deeply and stand.
Cease your vows.
Galen, son of Helios of Kingstown, at your service, friend to known to some here in Helios that you may know of.
Ghoul seems impatient.
And I wait for the others to join.
I don't think he cares about introductions, Galen. Perhaps we should just tell him why we're here.
He is wise.
Can I come in, or shall I stay out here?
Come in.
We are looking for someone.
Many are.
Perhaps we should introduce ourselves. We are a new crew on the block. We wanted to be friendly and neighborly. I believe one of my companions, and sort of gestures backwards to where he knows Skylus is, calls ourselves the Bang Gang, I believe, is our crew name. I don't quite know why. Well,
Yes, the children have been calling us that as well.
Oh, have they? Ah,
Yes. Bang
our
Gang.
children.
So I
Yes,
wasn't
well,
quite sure about it first. I wouldn't say we were a gang.
We're
Are
looking for
Are we a
his
gang?
brother.
and also to be of service to you, if we might. We would like to be friendly with you as newcomers in the city.
What is your purpose here, clearly?
We are looking for someone. We hope that you have the information that we need in order to find this person. And we're willing to trade or pay the price necessary.
One moment.
And the ghoul looks like it's concentrating very, very hard. Its brow furrows as best as it can. Cracks in its skin form and blood trickles down as it furrows. Eyes closed. Mouth panting. And it collapses to a knee for a moment.
Oh.
The Lord is interested.
As it stands back up.
What do you offer?
I'm afraid this is our first time making such an exchange. Would you be willing to guide us in the right direction? We would not want to insult the Lord.
Wise words, Kyria.
Oh, thank you.
Are you attempting to convince?
Sway.
Sway, I see.
I would like to, I believe, as a fellow player, that I have the option of helping her. I believe I can assist, is that not so? By spinning a little bit of stress?
I believe you can, yes.
Then, I'm wanting to find that moment, I would like to do so. What I do as, I'm standing right behind her.
Sure.
And what I do is, I am in my spirit mask with my sort of. I think it's quiet. It's a quiet sort of help, but it is the sort of what I'd like is that my presence sort of conveys that I'm someone who is knowledgeable of this world, not an outsider. We're not just like rubes who are outsiders or hostile, or the people who are not also at risk, right? In that sort of sense, to evoke a kind of fellow traveler to help her entreaties seem more like we're not tourists, I suppose is the way to sort of place it. And I think that he sort of tries to do this aid just with presence. This assist.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, you're giving emotional support.
Emotional support and display. I will take a stress, though, in order to give you an extra die.
2 stress, if you please.
I believe it's 1 for assisting.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's 2 if you want to do it for yourself.
I'll trust you on this one.
Yeah. Pushing yourself is 2.
I'll trust you.
You better not be lying.
No,
You better not.
No. I'd never lie.
Kyria?
Yes.
I think in this situation, this is just risky. You're not in a controlled situation, but you're not in desperate. You handled yourself fairly well approaching the throne.
And what is the effect? Standard?
I think it would be standard here.
Bonus dice is 1 for Galen?
Correct. That is correct. So you should have a good amount. That wasn't good enough, though.
For the record, because I assisted, I also suffer consequences from the roll.
That you do. Wretch does not look pleased.
You enter our domain and ask favors without knowing proper etiquette. This is distasteful. Perhaps make an offer, and a good one.
I look to Galen, as I have no idea what is normally offered in this situation.
Galen steps forward to be on an equal plane with Kyria. I have some knowledge that may be of service to some in your gang. I am a healer of sorts. I know a ritual. If you have any spirits unmoored or unbound without a vessel, I am skilled.
You know who our Lord is.
We are here for introductions.
Teeth fangs bared.
We are here for introductions. To become allies.
You did not do your research. Then we are alone in the city. give an offer or leave?
Yes, to finish my statement, wretch. My offer, if you would let me finish, is that I have the secret knowledge to be able to prepare a vessel for an unmoored spirit. If any in your crew, and this again is knowledge that is not known to many, and if you and your crew have such a spirit that wishes to be reanimated, this is a skill that I can provide to you.
Wretch steps forward ever slightly.
I step back instinctually.
Galen does not step back.
We have no need of that skill.
In that case, something more mundane, something simpler. I doubt that you are able to move freely through the city because of its, well, oppressive ideas about states of being. We do not have such a problem. We are topside, and we can be eyes and hands that you may not be able to do. We can be of service to each other. We can run things or do things, speak to people who you may not be able to speak to, considering the laws, distasteful as they are. My companion is very convincing.
We might have something in mind. You're willing to risk your lives?
And a grin.
Lives are
Precious.
The body is only a vessel. If the body dies, the spirit can be reborn, transferred. There are ways to be alive forever. I'm not worried about the destruction of the vessel. So, to answer your question, yes, of course, because lives are, well, I can keep everyone existing in some state or another.
I'm so sorry. I don't think I've ever heard you speak this way before. Is that correct? About
No.
living forever? No, I have not. Okay. Is he lying? Are you lying? You have to tell me the truth. Right now.
No, he's not lying.
Wow. Okay.
You know he's telling the truth, Kyria.
Holy shit.
And this is a vibe that you've never, because you've never seen him talking to undead people. This is a slightly different vibe, yeah.
Okay. Just thought I'd clarify things.
A tongue lashes out and covers its teeth as Wretch grins at Galen. Galen, I think we're gonna need a roll from you.
I assume this is a tune as they are of the, that is the way that I charm undead people. The not living, as it were.
Ah, you're attempting to sway via necromancy?
Everyone has their own method. You might sway by being charming. You might sway by being commanding or chummy. I sway by being a little...
Evil. Villainous.
No, I wouldn't say evil or villainous. I would say...
Weird.
You literally just said you don't care what happens to our bodies. You'll find another one. That is the
I
most
don't see-
heinous thing I've ever heard you say.
I don't even know what that means. I'm attempting to convince through my connections, my deep connections with those who are no longer living.
Clarification.
Hmm.
Are you attempting to sway via magic, reach into their mind? Or are you attempting to more connect out of familiarity?
Yes. Connect out of
Yes, to which
familiarity.
one?
Connect out of familiarity, and I am at this moment sort of brimming with, sort of like as you do as a medium, you know, when you are.
Sure. You're trying to make a connection rather than trying to
And
thrall.
yes. And I will push myself in this and take 2 stress, bringing me to 5. For an extra die.
Of course.
And to do so, I spend some of my soul and channel it through my mask to make myself more, so that my words speak not just on this plane, but also in the realm of spirits, so that I might be heard in both realms when I speak this offer.
I'll give you a choice, Galen. You may attempt just a standard risky, standard effect. Or you could go a little more desperate with a greater effect. Though I'm going to ask if you do that, more desperate, you'll take an additional stress.
Oh, I
But
don't
a great
know.
effect as a
Wait,
result.
I'm sorry. Are you tempting me with greater power and knowledge? Is that what
Always.
you're doing? Interesting. So I could do something that might be dangerous, but I'd get more power and knowledge.
Maybe not even dangerous for just you, but yes.
Well, of course. Of course I'll take that extra stress.
Wonderful.
Because I love extra knowledge. And danger's not too dangerous, really,
No.
in the long run.
Do remember to mark an experience for going desperate, though.
Oh, thank you. Let me submit with a bonus die. A 4.
Well,
Partial.
partial. There will be a serious consequence for this, you realize.
Not as serious if we'd failed. So yes.
True. True.
I'd hardly count that as a win, Galen.
I think your heat has risen again with the dead ends. You seriously didn't think it didn't rise from before with the poor interactions? Wretch looks at you with understanding and malice.
What do you want? Galen, son of Helios.
For now, to be allied, but eventually there is a spirit that is being held captive somewhere in this city, and I don't know where. And we would like to know where this spirit is being caged.
One moment.
And hand on the throne, Wretch yet again furrows his brow, concentrates, eyes closed. The wound that opened from before reopens, more blood trickles. The black blood. And while he's concentrating, I'm curious. Zare, how are you taking all of this?
I am blown away that there is real undead things that you can just hang out with. I'm still trying to work out what the difference between us and an undead is. And I think Galen has told me bits and bobs. I'm less shocked than the others probably at Galen's revelations and things. And I'm just letting him do his thing. I assume that whatever he's doing is correct and the appropriate way to interact with these people. So I really just am kind of like everyone else here, sitting back and letting him do his thing and seeing what the outcome is. Yeah, really kind of just letting it happen. I don't think that there's any strong reaction to anything yet.
I like that you trust him.
Why wouldn't I?
Of course. Skyless,
Hey,
you
me.
keep your eyes on everything. What are you thinking? What's the position like? What do you like right now?
Not entirely happy with where we are. Down here is nothing but dead ends. Traps set every corner. If we're not careful, we'll stay down here and they'll have more for their crew. I'm just worried that they'll touch Kia. Not really
Fair.
paying attention to what Galen's saying. Or what is being said by either. Just watching Wretch as he makes every move. And every time there's a drip, I'm looking towards it. Every time I hear a patter of a rat's foot, I'm there as well. So far, things seem fine.
So far. Thank you.
Aye.
Wretch, after a moment, stands back up. Maybe a quick shake of the head.
My lord will help. At a cost.
And name it.
The lunar bites. They are encroaching. I would like you to aid my lord in gathering information about them and their motives and report back.
And Galen looks to Kyria before answering with, I suppose, in a sense of checking with her, right? As if wanting to get the nod or the shake from her.
You see his gaze.
I nod. Honestly, I
done.
was expecting a lot more than just information gathering, so I'm a little bit relieved.
Yes. We shall gather such information. And we have many ways to gain that information.
Good. There is one other lost Galen, son of Helios.
Of course.
We would like a vial of your blood as a countermeasure should you fail.
Galen takes 2 steps forward. Not within melee range, but 2 steps forward and reaches inside and pulls out a small bag. And the bag is leather and old. And he opens it up. And inside, there are a number of vials that have strange arcane runes upon them, and some that are plain. And there are syringes and scalpels and things in this small container. And he pulls out one of these glass syringes, and he looks at Wretch with a smile, and he pushes down the cuffs on his lace shirt and jams the syringe into his wrist and just pulls out a full syringe of blood. Places it in one of his vials without the runes, without flinching. Places the syringe back in his strange medical bag. Takes the vial. Puts the bag back inside, underneath his cloak. And he hands, as if it is not even a big deal, this vial forward with a step.
Wretch reaches out and grabs it with his clawed fingers. Puts it into his robes.
A deal is struck. Bring us valuable information of the lunar bites and their encroachment, their motives, and we will trade information of this trapped soul, as well as your collateral.
He pats his robes.
A name.
And before he answers, he looks to Césaire, as if, in the same way that he looked to Kyria for permission, he looks to Césaire for permission.
My name is Césaire Grey.
I know your name.
Césaire, may I give the name of the spirit?
My spirit.
No, the one we are searching for.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Why wouldn't you? How will they find it without the name?
It is out of respect to you, Césaire. Wretch.
Then, yes, of course.
The name of the spirit is Lorther Kell.
Lorther Kell.
The paladin who was murdered here 10 years ago.
Paladin, why do you seek that dead order?
The order
That was
is
not
dead.
part of the exchange.
The spirit is alive.
Wretch's eyes flick over to you, Kyria, and then back to Galen, seemingly
Of course,
dropping the topic.
Galen gave an answer that wasn't a real answer, right? It was that kind of like, just a
I'm aware.
answer with no information, as it were. But doesn't seem at all upset with Kyria, but more like, for him, that was like she said that, and his answer was in a line with her sort of objection, if that makes any sense.
Seems that Wretch has dropped the topic.
No. Sir, not until you have the information. You have 1 week.
Thank you for your time.
It is not my time.
And thank your Lord on our behalf.
Wretch nods to you. Nods to
I
Galen.
curtsy, and then I turn around and I looking at Dimples and Skyless with wide eyes like, get the fuck out. And I just, but I slowly walk very politely, but I want to be running.
And Galen loves this place. It's so nice.
It is well furnished in here.
It's well furnished, and he has questions in his mind now. But he strides out behind Kyria, breathing in the smells of the no longer living, but walking, and how nice this place is. How welcoming. And
The tapestries are well crafted.
What a lovely place.
It looks like it's fit for a king.
And as he walks out and he walks by Césaire, he just sort of pats Césaire on the shoulder quite warmly, as if you know, as you might when you're sitting in a nice restaurant or on a beach or somewhere comforting.
I turn back into the room and I look at Wretch and say, "Oh, one last thing, Wretch.
Yes.
The paladin order isn't quite dead. More like undead. You'll be pleased to know. Good day." And I turn around and I strut out the door very happily after Galen.
And Galen had, like, Dimples can't see it because Dimples is behind Galen, and neither can the people in front because they are not looking at his face. But he has this look of pride and affection when Césaire said that, as if that was just perfect.
And as you leave the room, Galen, only the rest of us would see Wretch smiling. Back at the hideout after this lovely meeting. I think you have an appointment coming up, unless I'm incorrect.
Are you referring to the note on the door?
Yeah, I think he is.
Right.
It said not to be late.
How much time do we
What
have?
time was it? Ooh. I'd say maybe a day at best.
Great.
If it's at 2 p.m.,
Okay.
lunch will not be provided. At least you assume it wasn't in the note, but why would it be provided at 2?
Honestly, I can't have lunch after that. Are you kidding?
Oh, I'm so
I
hungry.
can still smell it. How can you eat after that?
What?
After that, the sewer trip. I also have to change.
Yes, it's not nice, is it? I told you Kyria shouldn't have gone with us.
I really wish I hadn't.
And Galen
Glad you
looks
did.
awful. He looks really tense. He's very gaunt. There's like a little bit of, he's a little sweaty. He looks very tired, but his eyes are manic. A little drained, he seems.
Little bloodshot, maybe?
Little bloodshot.
Sure.
Perhaps a little bit of blood out of the nose from all of that stress of putting his spirit into things. But he's excited, but he's looking a little rough. I thought that went well. Yes?
Yes? I thought it was splendid. They welcomed us. They arranged a deal with us. That was what we wanted.
Dimples, you asked a
Yes.
question. I'll answer as we're waiting for Kyria to change. You have a spirit, or should I wait until she returns? I want Skyless to hear this specifically, of course. You need to know. Well, she might take a while. The stench is heavy. Just information. To answer your question, Dimples, the spirit, we all have spirits within us. And when you are killed, your spirit leaves. It goes to the underworld, travels over Styx and all of that. But the undead, sometimes the spirit doesn't go, or it's caught, or it's captured, or it's stuck. It floats about. And what we saw is what happens when someone places a spirit back within a specially prepared body. It doesn't have to be a body of flesh. It can be a body of iron or steel, although I find that not as good. You don't have feelings and sensations and, well... And if the body's not prepared well, then it sort of decays a bit more. But the point is that if you can capture a spirit, you can put it in a new vessel. And what we saw are people. They're people like you and me, any of us. But their spirits, rather than going off to the underworld, have been replaced within vessels. So they are, for all intents and purposes, just people. The work on those seem to have not been as good. There's much better work that can be done when you get a spirit that, if in a properly prepared vessel, properly prepared, then it's like you didn't die at all. Well, it's somewhat like you died. You're a little bit different, but you're still you, in a way. So, Silas, I know you do not live as long as we do.
Skyless.
Yes, Skyless, you do not live as long as we do, but I could, if ever something happened to this vessel, I could always place your spirit in another vessel, so you could live as long as...
Like Wretch does?
No, that was a very poorly prepared vessel. Like others, you've not met them, but you could live as long as an elf. Longer. You could live forever. You wouldn't have to go... How old are you?
Why?
Human years?
Galen, while I do enjoy the idea of Skyless living for a very long time, I fear that you're missing the mark here. Think about it. Are we not here in part to rescue my brother's soul?
Yes,
his spirit?
He cannot move on as long as he's captive.
Well, could we not perhaps return him? His spirit?
Yes. We could.
What would it require?
What would it require, Galen?
A vessel.
Right, of course, yes. We'd have to
We
find
need
a vessel.
Body. And there's a ritual. A draining, difficult ritual secret. But I traded much to get the knowledge of the ritual.
You know how to do it?
Yes.
Know how to do what?
He's going to put my brother back into a vessel for us. Well, we have to find a vessel, I suppose. We'll have to find somebody that is willing.
What?
How can we find somebody that's willing? Perhaps someone who is of the sciences? Or maybe
the body
a
has to be dead.
churchgoer?
Kia,
Yes, what?
you look nice.
Thank you.
That seems unnecessary, but appreciated, Skyless.
I
I
wouldn't
wasn't
say
talking to you.
unnecessary. Just I'm surprised he said it in front of everyone.
Apologies,
We can't just
Skyless.
lift any dead body.
No, well, I mean, if you just lift any dead body, then you might get...
Wait, what are you
wretch.
talking about?
We're talking philosophy.
No, it sounds like you mean you're actually going to put his spirit in a body.
Well, Césaire asked, it was a request.
Also,
From
Galen
Césaire.
mentioned maybe possibly making me undead.
If the time came for his spirit to leave his body, I could...
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, and did you mean what you said in there?
What?
About living forever and mortality and not caring about our vessels. I know you were telling the truth that you know how to do it, but
Yes.
did you mean it?
Kyria, the vessel is not as important as the soul.
Yes, but it's not for you to decide.
I was expressing how I understand the ways in which vessels are temporary. I'm not afraid of the death of my vessel.
I know how you play with words, and I know what you meant. I just want to know if you would really do it. All you said was that you knew how, and that
Yes.
was true. But
Yes.
would you actually do it?
Bring a spirit who wishes to return into a vessel, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Don't fucking play with me. I mean you.
Me personally?
Live forever. Yes.
Well, that's a bit difficult, isn't it? Because I'm the doctor. I can put others in bodies. I would need someone to put my spirit in a new vessel. I cannot do it to myself. I would need someone who knows how to return me to a new vessel.
Is he
That was
lying?
a to-
Because that's not what he said in there. What he said in there is, I don't care what happens to me. I know how to live forever.
That's true, but he's explaining that he'd need someone to do it. Like, he can't do it to himself. Right? He cannot.
Is that actually true,
Yeah,
Galen?
is that true?
Yeah.
I think you've heard of lichdom before.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, but his vampire
Galen no
friend.
lichdom.
Yeah.
And-
His vampire friend is like, you have to do this to me, or etc. Right? So, but he
To-
does know
for-
someone who. Yeah. But he knows
To
someone
not
who can
be
do
a
it to him.
lich, that's true.
Yeah.
But you can make yourself a lich.
He doesn't
That's
have that
known.
ritual though.
So do
that's
I sense
fair.
that you are like mildly lying then? Because you know of a way, but you...
No, because he's thinking, because he's like, oh, I can do this. I just have to get someone to do it. But he does know someone who can do it. So for him, like, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, he can't do it, but he does know someone who could.
He's
he
still
can do it
weaseling
for
out of the
others.
lie.
Yeah, so
It's-
but see, I can
Yeah.
tell when people are
Yeah.
lying, but I think it between you and me, I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
can tell when you're lying or hiding something from me
absolutely.
as well.
I would say that in his mind, he's not lying, right? He's not. Oh,
But I know when you're being cagey, and this is an instance
Yes.
where you have more information than you're willing to
yes,
share at this moment.
absolutely.
Okay.
But
Definitely.
but both of the things are true. That he knows how to live forever, but he can't personally enact the ritual on himself.
That's not what I asked. I asked if you would do it.
Oh. Why wouldn't I? I don't see why anyone wouldn't. Unless they have things in the underworld they need, which I don't.
We should go to this meeting.
If a man were to have the pox and die of it, and his spirit leave,
Yes.
and then you put another spirit in, would he still
Yes.
have the pox?
Yes,
Ooh.
I would assume so.
Well, that's an interesting question.
Oh, the pox is biological, right?
Yes. Experiments would need to be done to test that question.
I don't think we need to be running any more experiments right now, Galen.
Well, perhaps. I mean,
Galen?
you might want to consider an ethical exchange.
I'm sorry,
Galen?
Skyless, you mentioned something.
I wanted to just mention to Galen that it's probably not best a good idea to show all of our cards when we meet someone, especially if your idea to tell those who have your power that you're the one to have their power. If you were to go ahead and, let's say, against, or maybe not all of our wills, raise us again, so we could then live. It just takes one arrow, or something else, a sword, to stop that from happening. It needs to hit the right person, and that's you. And also, you've let Wretch, one who lives of your art, know that you have the same power.
Yes. He should know how much power I have, because we
Right.
were not swaying him otherwise.
Okay, but what I'm thinking here is you're not thinking about. Now I have to keep an eye out the shadows more for you. I have to work to make sure you don't die. Even more now,
I see.
Why?
because there could be assassins.
From whom? Reg.
Wretch,
But we're working with Reg.
barely.
Why would
Oh.
he...
If someone were to inhabit you, would they have access to your unique set of skills?
It depends on if I were murdered and then a spirit placed in my body, then no. If a spirit, I didn't mention this, sometimes spirits can enter bodies that are not dead.
What?
Yes.
Don't like that.
No.
No,
What?
it's not good. Yes. If a spirit enters your body and you're not dead, usually it's not consensual, though sometimes it can be. They possess you and they can control you.
And how do they do that? How do we protect from that?
That is difficult. I can set up wards, perhaps. I can...
Can we ward this place?
You should definitely
Yes.
do that.
Yes, we should definitely do that. We just walked
we need
into
more.
the house of the undead and said, "Here are some vessels.
You
Have
know
at
what
it."
Rich saw? You know what Rich saw when you introduced yourself?
Fucking dinner.
No, no.
A mirror. He was looking at a younger version of himself. Now, if he was to look at himself and say, "Ooh, who's this? A new crew coming in here, expecting to live forever and rule the streets?" They're gonna take you out. And if they take you out, then we fall too.
No, no.
What would you do, Galen?
I think he seemed quite nice.
He would do what I did.
No, I'm saying if you were Wretch.
Yes, I would do what I did, which is to make an alliance. This is a city that hates the undead and necromancy. And there are few allies for those who live beyond the first life.
Would you keep your word?
Yes. We have...
You wouldn't
Mutually-
be tempted to take the new vessel standing before you as your own?
Wretch can't take me. He's not a possessor spirit. Also,
There's clearly a lot I don't know.
there's something that they don't know, that really you don't know either, but I suppose I should tell you in case someone murders me. I know someone here in Helios. I've not introduced you to them yet because it's not been time. I have a friend. Someone who also knows the ritual. Who taught me the ritual. If I die, you should bring me... Well, you should alert him. He can bring me back.
We don't need his name. You're not going to die. Stop
Yeah,
saying
do I
such
need to
stupid
keep your
things.
body?
I just have to work overtime, that's all.
Do you need your own body, or would we have to arrange for...
Oh, well, if you had my body, that would be convenient. You could use mine with the right preparations.
What if your head was removed?
His head's not going to be removed. Why are we talking about this?
Because he asked whether this was his request.
Difficult. Come, listen. All I'm saying is that you should be excited. We have ways to continue on if we can't otherwise, and I think that The dead ends, they need allies, and I think we can be those allies. I think they need us as much as we need them. I think this could be something beautiful.
Yes, a little trust goes a long way, Curio. Skyless.
I agree.
Also, they might be able to bring my brother back in some way.
I can do that. And I will. If that is what you wish, Césaire.
Of course. I barely knew him.
I knew him well.
He might even be able to help us.
We're gonna be late.
Aye.
Oh,
Yes.
am I coming?
Yes.
Aye.
Oh, really? 2 in a day?
Yes.
Right, where are we going?
To meet the accountant.
Oh, the note.
Yes.
Do you mind if I sit down for just 15 minutes?
Of course. Would you like some tea?
Yes. No. Yes.
Wine.
I just...
Just tea.
Thanks.
I no issues.
He just
meeting
bleeds
the
a little
accountant.
bit from the nose. Just a little bit of a nosebleed.
Take
Yes,
out
yes.
a handkerchief and I'll hand it to you discreetly, I guess.
I'll get you
Just-
the tea.
15 minutes.
I think that is a perfect time to take a short break so that you can all recover from that ordeal.
Holy shit. That was awesome.
That was
Sorry.
great. I really like that scene.
Yeah, holy fuck. That
So
was so
much.
good.
The, like, describing Wretch and everything, and like the crackly face and everything was
Yeah.
super cool.
And every time he tried to do something, the blood and the
So creepy.
It
fucking
was really good.
face falling off. Oh my god.
Yeah, just an empty
Yeah.
sewer, circular room,
Yeah.
moonlit. It was awesome.
Also, just
Well, I,
remembering
for
at that like
one,
time
had
period.
no plan on body shaming him. Okay, so I hope you all feel very guilty about this. Wretch seemed very nice and welcoming.
Yes.
Yeah,
Galen
very,
quite likes
very
him.
welcoming. I also
It was
just like
awesome.
remembering that time period, ladies didn't hear any
Yes.
sort of talk of violence. So,
Yep.
you know, I'm going to die. I'm
Yep.
going to be beheaded. Like,
Yep.
geez, everything not to fucking pass out.
Yep.
Holy gross.
Yeah, your improprieties.
Mm-hmm.
Or their improprieties, I should say.
Oh,
That
there were
was so
there were
good.
dead people. I was very excited.
Well, I think we'll take a 3 to 5, but I want to at least let the viewers know, and maybe the listeners as well. There's a teaser for an upcoming show about to happen. It's not mine, don't worry. I'm not in it. That's, again, disappointing, but
Spoilers.
I have this. Oh, I'm sorry. I've spoiled that I'm not in something again. It's alright. It's alright. I'm sure I won't take it out on PB during this show.
Oh.
So, we'll go to break, take a 3 to 5, don't go anywhere, enjoy the teaser, enjoy everything else, and watch your back.
Watch your back.
Right.
Outside a manor, extravagant, large iron gates. It almost looks like a bank. And you see the placard. The accountant's vault. Appointments only. Ring buzzer. You see a strange button on, I can only assume it's a panel of some kind.
Can I press it?
Sure. Just do it.
Press the
You
button.
hear a lovely chime when you press it. And after a moment, a voice from seemingly nowhere.
Who is it?
Oh,
We're the new neighbors.
Right, I see you have an appointment. One moment.
And the silence hits you as the door opens. The gates open seemingly on their own inward. Beautiful courtyard. So opens up to you. Manicured trees, grass, sweet smelling flowers. Nice hedge of roses, pink and red. And they lead you to a large double door of the manor. What are you doing?
I guess I'm leading the way. Though it shouldn't be me, it should be my sister. Yeah.
Yeah, Loesch is still occupied at the Gag and Dragon.
It's okay, I can handle it.
I'm sure you
It
can,
seems much
Kyria.
more like your type of thing, wouldn't you say, Kyria?
Yes, very much so. Let's
Much
just
better than a sewer.
hope it goes better than the last one.
That'd
I
be
hope so
perfectly
too.
Fine.
The last
You
one
make your way
well.
to the doors.
Well.
You're at the door, yes?
Yes.
What are you doing with the door?
Yes, knocking. It might take me a second, but I eventually knock. Or
I wanted to make sure.
Dimples does.
I think Dimples does, since I heard it from him. He kind of walks past you and knocks. After a moment, the doors open. And there is a small imp standing at the door
Hello.
in a tailored suit, perfectly fit for its size, as looks up to you, the red imp horns shining and glistening, seemingly polished.
Hi there, it's nice to meet you. I'm Elodie. We're the new neighbors.
Wonderful. I will take you to the accountant for your appointment.
Thank you so much.
The imp bows low
Curtsy a little bit, just a little.
and leads the way.
I thought that was the accountant.
The manor is beautiful. You see the large spiral stairs go up to the second floor. That is not where the imp leads you. Off to the right, through a couple of corridors, it opening a door, letting you pass through, and then shuffling ahead of you to get to the next door. You see various imps and other denizens scurrying about in the background, some of them carrying food, others carrying parchment, or strange magical devices that you can only imagine what they do, back and forth. Very busy here. Some of them go into what look like vaults, making note of what is inside it. And he leads you to a very large door, maybe a good 15 feet in height. A thick, dark wood that you've never recognized before. Perhaps even you, Skyless, in your travels.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Filigree of gold and silver weave its way up and... Well, do any of you speak Infernal?
That's a very good question.
No.
That's why I asked.
No, I don't see why I would.
I see why I would,
Yes,
but
of
not
course.
yet. I just need to level up, and then I will.
I don't think... Yeah,
find
I think
ways.
you tend to go more towards the Draconic, which is a bit more of the language of magic rather than
Yes.
demons. But I'm not going to assume for you of what you'll do in the future, Galen.
Oh, there's always knowledge to learn. Galen
Always.
has his blood-red glasses on because he's not feeling well.
Of course. Skyless, you don't speak Infernal, do you? Alright. For those listening and not watching, Skyless shook his head no. The imp, standing in front, motions to the door. All of you.
You may enter.
Thank
You may
you.
open the door on your own as the handles are too high for me.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much.
And
Have a good
bows
day.
low and steps back,
I look to Dimples
leaving you at the doors.
to open the door. Do you mind?
Yeah, would you like me to announce your...
No, that won't be
I've seen a
necessary.
lot of people announcing, and Galen told me
Never announce me.
nobles like to be announced. I thought maybe we'd like to fit in.
Oh, okay, sure. But remember, it's Elodie.
Right.
That's very nice of you,
I'm not
Césaire,
noble.
to see them as nobles. Is that how you view Kyria?
Kyria, sort of, but not really, no. Galen, certainly. But we're in
Interesting.
a noble's home, so, when in Helios.
No, totally fair. I can respect that. So you open the doors?
And good afternoon. This is Elodie, daughter of
No, just Elodie.
Elodie and Galen, son of Stelios, and our friend. I am Césaire Grey.
As you walk into this room, or at least look in before you walk, it's a study. Hundreds, if not thousands of books line each wall. Dozens of feet up, the books go. No ladder in sight to climb. Yes, I'm sorry. You may interrupt if you wish.
This is odd, but are the spines the same? Do they look like novels, or do they look like bookkeeping?
The books, but the spines of the books. Yeah, there are no mortal spines, that's where my brain went. Sorry.
Yes.
No, they're all sorts of varieties.
Okay.
Many, many different kinds of books here. It's a collection, if anything.
Look at all those books.
Very impressive.
Must have cost an arm and a leg.
And no arms and legs are seen, thankfully, for you. At least in this context, maybe earlier today. But this study, beautiful. Behind a large desk made of beautiful wood, cedar perhaps, nice deep red cherry maybe, a hearth, 20 feet, the flame massive. The room isn't too warm. Behind the desk, Pit Lord. 12 feet in stature, horns gleaming, curled, spectacled, wonderfully fitted suit, and a large book sits upon the desk. Quill and ink, and a placard that just says, Vakli.
Hello, sir. We're the new neighbors?
We're looking for the accountant.
He looks up, makes note of each of you, and raises his clawed red hand and motions you forward.
I step forward. No hesitation.
A drink?
How kind.
You are guests.
Thank you very much.
You hear a as he presses something on his desk.
Libations, please. And chairs.
It's very impressive. Is that magic or technology?
A little of both. Come.
And he seems almost impatient as he waits 5 seconds before that same imp runs in
Oh, poor guy.
with a tray. And upon it are chalices filled with the liquid. And it walks up to each of you.
And I will take one and
What is it?
sit.
Wine, sir.
Oh, I can't drink wine. I put it back on the little tray.
My apologies, sir.
And
It's perfectly fine.
the imp offers to the other two of you, should you take it.
Galen takes a glass, and his hand is sort of a little shaky as he trembles, has a bit of a tremble as he takes the glass.
Skylus, do I see that you have your chalice as well? Yes, good.
Aye.
One chalice remains. The imp bows humbly, looking at you, Césaire.
What would you wish to drink, sir?
I'm not thirsty. It's fine.
Is he
Mother
close
doesn't
enough?
let me drink.
Is he close enough to
alcohol.
like kick or glare or sort
I
of?
don't know. Where are you positioned
Yeah,
next to
are-
Césaire?
I'm probably quite near where you are because I followed you
Okay.
in.
Our
I'm-
young Dimples prefers fruit juice. If you might have
Juice.
something of that.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Unfermented. Yes.
And
Thank you for your kindness.
the imp.
And I'm not looking at the imp when I say that. I'm looking at the accountant.
Yes,
Vocally
thank you for your
Yes,
kindness.
Buckley.
nods ever so slightly to you, Kyria.
Is there a place to sit now?
Not yet.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to make sure as soon as it's available, I will sit down and be polite.
Of course. A moment later, the imp rushes back in with another chalice and walks directly up to you, Césaire. Just chalice in its hand.
What's that?
That's your
Juice,
juice.
sir.
Yes, yeah, but what type of juice?
It is an apple juice, sir.
Apple juice. Oh, very good. How do you get the juice out of an apple anyway?
You crush them, sir.
Right,
I am not the one who
quite hard,
crushes
they're
it.
very
The chef
juicy,
does.
aren't they? I'll try it. Yes, that's fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Quite delicious.
Yes, good.
That really, really does taste like apples as well.
It is made from apples, sir. Yes.
How is that possible?
I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to bring you.
The imp bows to you again, and then,
Thank you very much.
as it's backing out of the room, claps twice. There are chairs behind each one of you.
Ooh, magic! Delightful. Very
See, It
impressive.
wasn't apple juice at all, was it? Probably clapped his hands.
And I will
The imp
sit.
shuts the doors.
Is apple juice from magic the same as apple juice from an actual apple?
He
Are
mentioned
you
a
asking
chef.
me or the party or Vockley?
I say it
He's
like
just
all
saying it out
around as
loud,
I
yeah.
sit back in my
Yeah.
chair, cross my legs, and lean into it.
He does that. He just talks to the air, and we usually
I've-
ignore him.
That's fair. I just wanted to clarify for my own edification. Thank you, Kyria. Buckley does not respond to the apple juice statement.
And there's a moment where normally Galen sits like sort of almost like a half a beat, but almost in tandem with Kyria. Like he very much, it's a very similar sort of it's like they're on a same vibe, and it's like, we know this is the polite thing to do, we do it at this moment, but he always waits just like a half a beat because you're a lady, and he sort of defers to you in these moments, and it's just like he doesn't wait too long because that would be impolite, but he waits long enough to be polite towards you. But there's just that kind of a distraction. He's clearly in his head, and so there's just like, it's like 2 beats before he sits because he is clearly in his head at this moment, and he realizes he should be sitting, and he sits. Which is almost a bow and a sit at the same time.
You see a nod of appreciation from Vockley. Skyless, I have a question for you.
And I have an answer.
Did you intentionally not sit?
Aye.
Where in the room are you standing
Can
then?
I shoot him a glance?
You may,
pleading?
but I'd like him to answer my question first.
I figured having a drink was enough respect.
Hospitality rules and all, of course.
Aye.
You may
What
shoot
was your
that
question?
glance now. No, that was the question. You've answered it. Thank you.
Aye.
Kyria, you can shoot your glance now if you wish.
Oh, I do.
Skyless, I'm sure you see it. You do not notice him sitting.
I meet her glance over the sip and the slurp of my wine, or whatever the libation is in the goblet.
Oh, it's probably the best wine you've ever had in your life.
For the record, just in case Silas needs to know, I imagine there are 4 chairs, and you said
There
you
are
sat-
4, and one appeared behind Skyless, yes.
Yes. Galen just makes sure his seat is close to Kyria's.
Ah, I see. You move the chair up for him?
Yes, just so that she could sit next to Kyria. so he could sit next to Kyria.
So you get up and move the chair and then sit back down.
Yeah, and I think he actually does it when he sits. Like, it's kind of like he's in a bit of a state. He's in his mind, and so he just sort of pulls the chair closer to her to sit beside her.
Galen, I apologize for this,
Please.
but that was not stated before.
Oh,
You
well,
could indeed take a stress for a very, very short flashback to you doing that, if you wish.
I'll take that stress.
Wonderful. No, Kyria, that's his choice.
Yep.
Just to, so that he's
Just worried about him.
within...
I know.
So that he's close to her.
I understand. Thank you, Galen. The chair is there ahead of you, Skyless, should you choose to sit next to Kyria. Well.
No.
As you've all taken your seats and sipped wine, I do have one statement. Césaire. Well, no, you didn't sip the wine. Never mind. Ignore that. Don't worry about it at all.
What happens to those of us that sipped the wine?
You enjoy the wine.
Oh, okay. Phew. Thought you were gonna say something
No.
else there for a second.
No.
No.
I wouldn't do that.
Of course not.
No.
Could I make a roll?
Well, it depends on what you'd like to do.
I would like to make a study roll.
Would you?
Yes,
What about?
the wine. Not to see if it's suspicious, but I'd like to study it to see if I can learn, perhaps, if I know the vineyard it might have come from, or its age, its notes.
I think that's very fair. How familiar are you with wine?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you know my father, Stelios of Kingston.
I'm aware of who they are, yes.
Yes, quite an important noble, respected. We have an extensive wine cellar. I've had only the best everything growing up. Material goods, the best material goods I've had growing up. So yes, I know wines. I know sheets, fabrics, tailors. I know if it's a material good, I did not lack for it. I know things about stitches. Yes, I know wines.
You know wines, yes. That's what you've established with me so far. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, there's things happening and I'm growing a bit impatient, Galen.
Yes. Is this a risky, controlled, desperate?
I was going to give you controlled, but you rambled a bit, so it is a bit risky, yes.
Yes.
Don't worry about the effect. That's just standard.
Yes.
You're not affecting any clocks here.
I completely failed to study this wine.
It's very good. That's about it. You've never had this wine before, Galen.
That's distressing to me.
Little earthy. Little woody. Give you a hint of dandelion.
Maybe.
It's definitely the best wine you've ever had.
But I don't know it.
Definitely not.
Knowledge I don't know.
Well, shall we continue then, Galen? Thank you. Vockley looks at each one of you, pulling his spectacles down as he examines each face, feature, pore. It almost looks like he's gazing into your soul. So you are neighbors, then?
Yes. We're the new neighbors. Very kind of you to invite us over.
I want to make sure I know who encroaches upon my turf.
We mean no disrespect. I didn't know that was your turf. Would you like us to move?
Not necessary, so long as it is amicable.
Of course.
Was it not for sale?
It's not what he means.
Oh.
I know perfectly well it was not for sale.
It was not for sale?
Oh. Well, that's interesting.
Since we're talking of business, of course,
Of course.
Mr. Vackle.
Vackley.
Farkley, of course, yes. I'm not that good at reading all the words. I know most of them.
No harm, Césaire.
I think we're all in agreement here. We want to know what is an accountant? What does that mean?
You see him sputter a tiny bit of his wine in a laugh. Well, a clawed hand, bigger than most of your faces, touches his book. I have an account of every detail of the city.
Do you?
I do, dear Kyria.
Oh, the books!
Oh, sorry, Elodie.
So then you know who sent us?
I have an inkling. Yes,
And you know why we're here?
another inkling. Yes.
Shall we just skip the pleasantries? Get right to business?
I am a fan of pleasantries, admittedly. But I also respect business. Please tell me why I should not report you to my dear friend, Pak Zagur.
I assume you had an agreement with Madame. Does that agreement not stand?
I care not what other cities do.
We do have a writ now, actually.
Dimples.
So
I know you
Sarah.
don't. It's fine.
right, but we did have one though. You have to understand. It's not necessarily that we. It was stolen.
I'm going to
from us,
need
and
you
we're in
to
the
shut
business
your
of-
dog up, please, and thank you.
What dogs?
You stop talking. Just drink your juice.
Oh, I see. Right. Yes.
I do not like
right.
being spoken over. Césaire, keep that in mind.
Yes. Very well. No, I understand. That's. I was just worried.
That would have meant for you to shut up now.
I did
Césaire
wait for you to
Kell.
finish. There's my real name.
Apologies. That was a bit of a temper tantrum on my part.
It's all right.
Yeah, I was being very
No,
rude.
stop.
My apologies.
Stop speaking. Stop. Please. Stop speaking. Thank you.
I think at this point, Skyless takes the chair and slides it awkwardly as it honks across the floor, and then moves right next to Césaire and sits down.
You
Just
see,
stares at him.
you see Vackley wince slightly at the scraping of the chair.
Yeah, on the beautiful fucking floor.
Oh yes.
I'm sweating now a little bit, by the way. This is horrible. This is going horribly.
What are you thinking, Kyria?
I'm thinking it's way worse than the undead, which is insane. But I'm thinking it because this is my wheelhouse, and I cannot believe I thought it would be okay to bring them both here. So I'm kicking myself a little bit. And obviously, the agreement that Madame made with him is nothing. And now that's a little terrifying to me because her name was the only thing keeping us kind of safe. And he wouldn't say something like, give me one reason why I shouldn't report you unless he wants us to do something. I'm very familiar with this kind of behavior from men.
I think you are. But what agreement did Madame have with the accountant? I might be hazy on the details, and I would love to hear you say it.
As far as I know from Madame, the agreement is that we would have someone on the inside help us have her get established in trade, and that they would reach out to us. I have assumed that this is the accountant.
Ah,
I may have made a mistake.
I don't know
Galen
if you
just
recall.
reaches out and just holds Kyria's hand. Just
I
sort of-
let go. That's improper.
it was like kind of like a tap, like on the
I
arm
move
of
it.
the thing.
I move it.
You said hold, not tap
Yeah.
first,
Well,
Galen.
she moves it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She does move it. But I want to remind you, Kyria,
Yeah.
of what I reminded Loesch of last week.
Yes.
You are making assumptions.
Yes, I am.
That's all.
Forgive me. Can I use that knowledge that you just gave me?
I've given you knowledge.
Okay.
Use it how you will.
Okay.
Vakali looks at you expectantly.
I assume you would like something from us. In order for you not to report us?
Assumptions,
Well, then what
but
do
a
you
correct
want?
one. What do I want? Many things. I'd like to stay in the good graces of my lord.
Who might your lord be?
The owner of this city.
Of course.
We have an arrangement. But
What is your arrangement with your lord, if I may ask?
I'm glad you know how to speak words correctly, Kyria. Not one I can fully divulge is the answer I will give you. But he allows me to work in the city, fairly unaccosted. It's a few century pact.
Why do they call you the accountant?
Because everything is accounted for in this book.
Everything.
Well, not what is to happen. I don't really have that particular power. But if it's happened, I know it. Or at least I'll claim I know it. Lie seeker.
I'm not seeking lies, just the truth.
I beg to differ.
Do you know about the lunar bites, by chance?
Of course I do.
And what would
What
that...
would you like to know?
Well, first the cost.
Wise questions, Kyria. Wise questions. He takes a large off of his wine.
Of course he does. Fucking power play.
You know
Yeah.
how these meetings go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the cost is not as great as you think. I just require something of yours.
Go on, don't be coy.
Oh, I'm not being coy. You want a deal with the devil, don't you?
But what is it of mine that you want?
Not necessarily yours, Kyria, but emotions to your group. Anything of yours valuable is likely acceptable. Kyria, you have been offered a deal.
Yes.
Would you like to sway things or
Yes.
sort things
yes.
or anything in your favor?
I'm going to sway. You know why we're here. Because you have all the information. You know what we're looking to do and what we're looking to establish. And you know the type of clientele that establishment would attract.
I'm aware.
Then I am proposing information exchange.
Ah. Tit for tat. A quid pro quo.
Yes. If we know that we don't show any official alliance, perhaps the noblemen would be more loose with their tongues. And we'd be able to get information you cannot.
Would you like access to the nobleman?
That's
Because
the
I
type
know
of
you.
establishment or
Oh,
Or do you not know?
do you really think the noblemen come to the slums for their pleasures? Kyria?
We won't be in the slums forever.
Ah, a promise of the future that is unknown.
If you'd like to set us up, not in the slums early, you're welcome to do so.
Ah, the cost of that is higher than you'd like, I think. But I could grant it.
And what's the cost?
Let's work out the first deal you put on the table first, Kyria. One thing at a time. Is that not reasonable?
Of course not. Just not what I'm used to.
Well, you're not from here.
No, I'm not.
Kyria, you'd like to roll, I assume?
Yes, holy shit, I'd like to sway.
But, do you think your standard pool would be enough?
No, I'll take a stress. Is that how that works? I take 2 stress? In
That is
order to
correct.
give myself an advantage here?
Absolutely. Now,
When you help
with this
yourself,
roll,
it's 2 stress. When others help you, it's 1.
Okay.
correct, Galen, thank you. Now, Kyria,
Yes.
how are you feeling about this situation?
Ooh, I have to be honest with you, don't I?
Yes, you do. And let's be real, I know you, Pumpkinberry, so don't lie to me.
Wow, taking it out of the 3 times over, breaking that wall down. Okay. I think this man can help me. I know he can help Madame, and I know he can help my sister with her goal. But I think this man can help me as well.
This man, that's awfully anthropomorphic of you.
Yes, well, this being.
But how do you feel about the situation?
Hopeful.
That's knowledge of what you could get.
Yes. Hopeful.
You feel hopeful.
I do.
That is not what I expected.
I know. It's not what I expected either, but if it's one thing I'm good at, it's getting information, and it's the number 1 currency in this place. I do feel like I have the upper hand here. If he doesn't see it now, he will soon enough.
I'll give you a controlled position for that. That might not happen very often in this situation, Kyria.
Well then, thank you.
I think Vockley knows too.
You know, I thought so. Is
Absolutely.
that standard? Limited?
I think great. Better roll well.
Mm-hmm. And is that 1 bonus dice?
For your stress,
Can I
Unless you'd
take
like to make
more stress? What does that look like?
Kyria.
What does that look like? How much stress can I take?
Well,
I'd let you have another 3 stress if you'd like one more dice. That's not necessarily with the rules, but I'm willing to bend them for you.
So I would take 5 total?
Yes, you would. It's a lot of stress, Kyria.
Deal.
Take it and roll. Boy, it's a good thing you did. As that is a success. Buckley smiles. Maybe the first time today. His canines, longer than the others. All pointed fangs.
what is your proposal, Kyria?
You give us the information we need to move and move fast, get established. We give you the information you need. Or want.
Good phrasing. I would love to know the Lunar Bite's motives.
So would
Because
we.
motives are future planning. And that is not easily written in my book.
Promises of the future again.
Exactly. I have one more proposition for you, Kyria.
Please.
Have you heard of a deal with the devil?
I'm familiar.
His eyes glance around to the rest. For just a moment, lock on Skyless, and then go back to you.
I can grant immortality. But I'll leave that for another conversation, I think.
Please. I'm not interested.
I wasn't talking to you, Kyria.
But your proposal was for me, was it not?
It was.
One thing at a time. Deal with me first. Please.
When this is all done, I'd love to hire you.
Perhaps. Future planning and all that. We'll see what happens.
So we will. Right. Enough with the pleasantries. Apologies, business. They mix for me. The Lunar Bites. You wish to know about them? Yes.
Yes.
They are located west of the left prong. You will find a bakery. It is north of the glassworks. There you will find the Lunar Bites, though it may not be apparent. Ask for one that likes to be called Lynn.
Lynn. Do you have any
And
vices? That kind of
Ooh.
information?
I see. Well, Since you were so diplomatic before.
Information is power.
I would love to hire you.
Perhaps.
Yes, they are easily swayed with honeyed words.
I look over at Dimples. Like, oh, I can't take him then. Got it. Noted. Any other
Good.
pertinent information?
It's all up front.
Or
That's for you to find out.
do you need to know? When I find
I
out,
already know.
All right, understood. Is it a test?
I could be coy, but I won't. Yes,
I do quite like a challenge.
good. I think this meeting is over, don't you?
I do. One last thing. You made a deal with me,
I did.
not Madame,
Correct.
not Loge.
No. With you, you're in my book now.
Thank you.
I wouldn't thank me. Have a pleasant day. Leave your glasses on the chairs. It will be collected.
I do exactly what he says. Put the glass on the chair, I stand up. I probably grab Dimples or gently lift his arm a little bit. Same with Galen. I know he's not doing well. And I just help them up. It's time to go. And then I leave.
Good to
I
meet
I
open
bow
the
on my
door.
way out.
Sir. Accountant.
Wise.
Your
When you open the
study
door.
is magnificent.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Galen.
And your study is magnificent, as was the wine. Thank you for your hospitality.
The accountant grins at your maybe feigned interest. Maybe not.
You know, their books. And the wine was very good. It's just he's
Oh, for sure, for sure. The accountant.
I'm glad you enjoyed the Tethia wine. The wine of your homeland.
Tethia wine. And like again, it's just like running, just thoughts.
Elven wine from Tethir, the continent you've never been to. Well, city you've never been to. I don't think you've been to Ophion. But it has a strange nostalgic feeling now that you've imbibed.
And he's just sort of drawn away by Kyria, but like the words just sort of stay in his mind.
Have a pleasant day.
And the door opens, and your hideout is in front of you.
Okay. I walk in and I immediately sit down and start fanning myself as soon as the door is closed, obviously.
Did I,
Did you what?
Did I black out for a moment?
No, I think we just made a deal with the devil. I think I just made a deal with the devil, the actual devil.
No, he's not the devil. He's a devil. There are books, scrolls. You know, if you're in his book, then he's in your book. It was a Tethian wine.
That is the scariest thing he said the entire meeting, by the way.
Oh, well, my dear.
Speaking of wine, Kira,
I
relax.
found him quite scary.
Thank
He
you.
wasn't scary, he was sort of grumpy.
It's very intimidating. It's a very, very...
Oh, he was
Powerful
a nice man.
being.
Don't
Yes,
worry about
fine.
it.
He literally called you
Busy.
a dog.
Right, yes, but I did speak over him, so I really must be careful. You know, I haven't spent much time around noble company.
Oh,
I'm
he's
quite sure of the
an
rules.
otherworldly demon. But Kyria, you're in his books.
You don't
That's
deserve to be
good.
called a dog, Dimples.
Well, fair enough, but, you know, maybe he didn't know the difference.
No, I think he was deliberately provoking, but you did not take the bait, which speaks well of you.
Yes, you did well. Very well.
Right.
Bait. Bait. That's so... Right.
Okay, so, he's not the one that Madame had an agreement with. Clearly. Right?
Oh, he's not? Kyria?
I don't know. I guess so. I guess there was just another added cost at the end.
The books, they were organized, also, different languages. I have to find, and then, different languages.
Could you read all those books?
Well, if I had the time, I could read. If I had time, I could read everything. If yes. Yes.
Skyless,
Aye.
what did you take of all of that? You being the silent one in the group?
Not much to take. He was doing a lot of flexing, and that's really it. A lot of words, but nothing really behind the mask of ill confidence. Seems like books are his mighty sword.
The pen is mightier, so I've heard.
Aye, but I don't wield a sword. But after hearing about the left, north of the left prong, I think Skyless, after a while of everyone talking, and he then gets up, puts his hood on, and makes his way out the door.
Where are you going?
I'll be back.
And he leaves. We'll come back to him later.
You know, Kyria,
Yeah.
he said that we didn't have a writ.
Yeah.
You said that he was perhaps connected to the madam.
Supposedly.
And our writ was taken not more than 15 minutes from when we arrived.
What are you suggesting?
Well, when you make a deal and you put things in your favor, don't you? Someone on the inside, you said, when we were speaking, you said things, there were words. There were words. You
Galen.
said...
Do
wait,
we have
Galen,
a writ or
calm
not?
down.
No, there were words, and you said...
Hold on, slow down, breathe.
Because you said that we had a writ, and then you told me that we didn't have a writ, and then you told me that we do, and then we don't again, and I'm
Right.
just trying to keep up with...
I'll explain in just
do
a
we
second.
have one?
We do not yet, but we don't want
don't.
anybody to know that we don't have one. So,
Don't want anybody to know that.
Right.
Well, yes, okay.
so in public we say we have one. We're working on it. Galen, are you all right?
Yes, it's just words.
You need to lay down. You don't look well.
You said that the madam had someone on the inside.
Yes. Going to
On the
offer us
inside.
protection and some things to get started. Information.
Yes, but
And
if she
didn't-
had someone on the inside,
Yes.
then, and that is he, then he is her inside man, she could ask him to steal the writ so that when we were here, we could not leave, and then he could keep tabs. We ask him for favors, which is somehow still...
I put a hand on his thigh. Galen.
Yes.
And I dart my eyes to Madame's son. And then back to you.
Yes.
I don't think Madame would betray us in that way.
No, I don't. Yes, I see what you're saying. I don't think it's betrayal. I think it's,
I think you need to lay down.
No, I need to read books. I need to study. I can study.
Studying can wait until tomorrow, please.
No, there's
I'm worried
no
about
time.
you.
I'm going to go.
I want to sway him. Can I use my ability on a PC?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna try to sway you to fucking lay down.
However,
Take care of yourself.
what you're gonna need to do, I believe.
Oh, actually, I will not use sway. I will command, for reasons. It's not as good, but that's what I choose to do.
Well, true. I think what I'll do then, because of that choice, Galen, you know you're at disadvantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need you to roll me a 2d6 and pick the worst one. Kyria, you can do your roll as normal.
What's my position?
Just standard across the board.
Is that controlled?
Standard.
So
It'd be
I
risky in that sense.
risky and then standard.
4.
Okay.
You command him very well.
No,
Well,
Galen.
you tie. Oh no, he took
He takes
disadvantage.
the
You're
lower,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
My
that's what I took before.
apologies.
Yep.
That was me misreading. That is on me. Yes,
We
you
both have
command him.
partials.
So in that case, I squeeze your thigh a little bit and I say, no, you need to lay down and you need to rest. Trust me. You won't keep any of the information you read in this state anyway. Studying can wait for a few hours.
Don't think I can sleep. I'm itchy.
I can help you with that. Just go lay down.
Will you?
I'll be in later.
I will wait for you. Perhaps it
Really?
would be best if this is while Skylus is away.
He understands.
Does he?
Go lay down.
Sweet Dimples, we don't need to say anything to Skylus about any of this.
What?
Don't trust Dimples to say or not say anything. Sorry, Dimples.
You can trust me above all others. I would never let harm come to you or any other members of the Bang Gang.
I trust you, Dimples.
I trust you as well. Did someone say something?
No, I don't think so.
I heard a voice.
I was thinking maybe it could stand for Brilliant and Noble Gang. Gang.
Yes.
And a noble
There's a
gang.
gang twice there.
Yes.
Maybe something
Bit of
else with a G?
tautology.
Brilliant and noble gentleman gang.
Well, yes. But what about you,
Yes.
Loesch?
I'm going to my quarters. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to prepare myself. I'll prepare and then I'll lay down. I think I'm bleeding again.
I will take
No.
a handkerchief and I will just wipe it away for
Thank you. And yes, I do as you wish. And sort of in a bit of a distracted sort of moment, he turns to sort of go up towards his quarters. He sort of bumps into the wall because he's clearly not really in his body at the moment. He's just in his mind, and or maybe in the spirit realm. It's unclear. And he just sort of wanders away. Gives a last look to Césaire before he goes off.
All right. Ellen goes off to bed. Kyria. Césaire. It's just you in the hideout. It's way too big for 2 people, that's for sure.
Yeah. Did you really ask him? About your brother, I mean.
Ask who?
Galen.
What do you mean?
Did you ask him to bring your brother back?
Well, under the right circumstances, of course, we'd have to make sure that... Well, he said that he might be able to put him into a suit of armor or something, if we can't find an ethical vessel.
Sorry, you want to put him in a suit of armor?
Well, I don't really know how it works, but I'm quite sure that if Galen can bring him back, then he must.
Do you think your brother would want to come back in a suit of armor?
I don't see why he wouldn't.
Is that really a way of living, Césaire? It might be.
I know I don't really know you that well. But this seems unlike you. To not take in consideration your brother's feelings.
Well, my brother's feelings aside, he had an obligation to our order.
Yes,
I think he would want to continue that. I know I would. You can put me in a suit of armor if it meant that I could continue doing the right thing. I think he would feel the same way.
How
Perhaps
confident are you?
We can bring him back and ask him.
And if he says no, are you prepared to let him go?
Yes.
Is he lying? Are you lying?
Are you lying, Césaire? If he
I don't
said
think I
no.
know.
You find
I don't think I
ambiguity
know.
in the answer,
Okay.
Kyria.
Listen, I'm worried about Galen. And
Oh, he gets like that sometimes.
He does.
Knows, and he gets a little distracted. He's always fine after a little rest.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the idea of bringing your brother back in a body and using vessels, and he told me he was just gonna summon your brother's spirit to speak to him, not put him in another body. It's unnatural.
It's against the law.
I probably would have thought the same, but then we met those nice chaps earlier on. They seemed fine.
How can you be surrounded in a pit of snakes and only see sheep?
I haven't met any snakes today. Nobody has done us harm.
I lean in and I take your cheek in my hand. You are literally surrounded by snakes. And you're looking at one.
You are a snake?
Yes, I can be.
Well, I suppose I can be as well. A viper is quick to strike when necessary.
Yes, you're
It's
a snake.
touching.
Well, there's no enemies that I've seen yet. I shan't be the first to judge. We simply had 2 friendly meetings. Both of them.
They were
Nobody
both
did us any
very
harm.
dangerous.
Well, I'm very dangerous.
You're physically dangerous, Dimples.
Precisely. Doesn't mean I'm always striking and parrying and attacking.
But you need to be striking and parrying and attacking socially, mentally. You need to understand that not everyone fights with a sword. And you're weak in that area. And someone is going to take advantage of you one day. And I don't know If I can protect you,
You don't need to protect me. That's my job. I watch the door.
will you just do me a favor? For the next couple of days, every time you have an interaction with someone, think about potentially maybe they want to do you harm. Just think about it and see how that changes your interaction.
That sounds like a terrible way to think.
It's how you survive.
Well, I'm still alive. I know when people are doing bad things.
Do you?
I think I can at least trust in myself. I know when I'm doing something wrong and when I'm doing something dishonorable. And so long as I don't stray from that path, then what harm could possibly come from me?
Césaire, aren't you just regurgitating what your brother said?
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Lothair once told me something very similar. We don't always fight with the sword.
Yeah. And I think that pains me a little bit to hear it, especially because your voices are so similar.
Maybe you see Lothair for just a second. His long hair, back in a braid. His gleaming armor. Just for a moment.
Stop.
Hoping.
Please stop.
Hoping it would be better. And then he died. You've used him. His brother, not Lothair. Don't lie to yourself.
Hasn't happened yet. I can still stop it.
Yet.
Unpredictable futures and all that.
Some things are set.
Not this. I refuse to believe it.
Alright. Keep regurgitating. Césaire.
You sound like your brother.
Good.
And I think that's a good spot
I get up
to
and
check out what Silas is doing.
I
Yeah. You need a moment, I get it. Take your moment. Skyless,
Where
where are you headed?
Well, I heard him say the left of the prong, and then north of Miss Maggie's glassworks. I'm going there.
Alright.
But on the way, I'm tracking down who would potentially have that writ.
Well, as you remember, unfortunately, you don't really remember or you didn't even see who took the writ. Césaire was
I think
a little loud.
I think, remembering this, I quicken my pace a bit towards my destination.
The bakery.
I go via rooftop. My favorite way of travel.
Ah. I mean, makes sense. Leaping upon the
course.
rooftops.
Of course, I can't quite make it because of there's a courtyard in the way, but I start the Gag and Dragon. Look through the window. See if I could glance just a little bit at Losh, see if she's alright. Needs help at all.
What's a reason why I shouldn't have you roll for that, Skyless? Give me a good reason.
And if I choose not to?
You choose not to give me a good reason? I'll have you roll.
Alright, I'll roll.
Alright, fair enough. Well, I'll need
What
a
am I
survey.
rolling for? I'm rolling for...
Well, you're
if
looking
she's
out for
alright, or
Losh.
If I'm looking,
Yeah.
or whether or not she is alright.
I think just seeing where Loesch is and what she might be up to, maybe what her status is. Depends on how you roll.
Fine.
I think you're in a controlled position, admittedly, as you are up on the roof and you have stated you were looking directly at the Gagan Dragon. I think it would be a standard effect at best. That seem reasonable? Doesn't matter if it did. You already rolled. A 4. That's a partial. Well, you do see Loesch. Loesch is in this Gagan Dragon, making pleasantries, from what you can tell through the window. She doesn't seem to be in harm's way. Doesn't seem. You have an inkling that something's not quite right, but I don't think it's enough to sway you. You have a mission, don't you?
I think, I have that inkling, and then maybe a breeze pushes a bush or a hedge into my side, and reminding me of the time that I was pushed, or that we were pushed for someone to steal the writ from us, and then that triggers my my memory of losing it. And that's when I start to climb up the side of the Gagan Dragon. And then I start using the southernmost threshold of Helios to then hop and use the roofs there and the lines across up towards the glassworks and north of it.
Of course. Production, could we see the map real quick so that those watching can see where Skylus is going? If possible, zoom in around that area, but if not, no worries. And we see Skylus leaping from roof to roof. Up above the Gagan Dragon, moving sideways along the outer wall, making his way above the glassworks, and then jumping down into the street nearby the bakery.
I think before I jump down, I would look and patrol the area and look for anyone who I would think resides here.
There. You don't need to roll to just look around you. You see a number of different monster races, as is very common in the slums, despite this city being less judgmental than most. The Goliath walks down the middle of the street, maybe a bit of a shake in the ground every step. A number of drow and dwarves and dwergar at their various booths, trying to sell, as they seem to have not got a permit to work in Hawker's Alley. And you see a number of people of various races, sizes, shapes, going in and out of this bakery, our daily bread.
All right. I slide down a laundry line into the alleyway, and then I make my way onto the street, into the door.
The scent of fresh bread and pastries hits you, almost like a blanket, warm, comforting. And you see a couple of humans standing behind the counter. A couple of them working behind the two that you see.
Are these the only humans I've seen here?
Yes,
In the
actually.
slums?
You haven't bumped. You maybe occasionally see a human child, but
Right.
no adults for sure.
Right. Okay.
A woman speaks up when you enter. Well, come on in. Feel free to peruse, or if you have any questions, I'll happily help. Blonde, curly hair, well built. Looks like she works out, perhaps swordsmanship.
Hey.
I think he eyes too long. I think digesting the fact that she is a human and down here and thriving in the slums.
Hey.
And he makes his way over towards some sweetbreads and just tries to peruse and to keep an ear out to anything and try to really ping and discern what this would be a front for and what they are actually hiding, because they must be hiding something if they are a bunch of humans in the slums. There must be more. So he's trying his best to, I guess, scout out or survey the area before the meeting.
Because the last two meetings were abysmal, and context is always wonderful.
Context is key, for sure.
Aye.
Well then, what would you think you'd need to roll for this? I won't feed it to you this time. Or perhaps what would you like to roll? Because it doesn't have to be what I think.
Like to study? If you let
Study. What are you studying specifically?
studying the interactions, trying to see if the social pattern here reflects that of what has been done in Kingstown, working for the madam. And if it is, then I know that there's a front to something.
I think study could work here. Yeah.
Aye.
I think it's fairly controlled. You look like a customer,
Aye.
more or less. You walked in the front door at least, which is normally a customer thing, and I think it'd be a standard amount of detail you could get from this at best. Ooh. I think you're too distracted. Humans. You're rare in a city of monsters. Not impossible, but rare.
Aye. I grab a bundle of sweetbread, and I make my way to the counter.
Of course. Now, I do want to let you know, because you are in a controlled situation, you have the option to re-roll as a risky opportunity. Because you're controlled, no bad things happened. And you would know that you'd need to either try again with a risky opportunity or leave. Leaving could be as simple as buying some bread and getting out. But you did fail.
You
Reroll or leave.
You know me. It's a risky move now, right?
Correct, instead of controlled.
And it's still standard.
Correct. What would you like to do, Skyless?
I don't know what any of these means, so I'm just gonna click this button and hope for something to happen. I could stress myself.
To add another dice, you absolutely can, or you can...
I add 2.
You add 2 stress for 1 dice, correct. Risky, standard. Oh, seems it was worth it.
Aye.
What are you attempting to accomplish? Because you succeed.
Yeah, I think in the risk is from the time he grabbed, or he started to move to grab the sweetbread, he to up until he got to the counter. I think that entire maneuver wasn't calculated, and he was thinking of Kyria the whole time until he got to the counter, and then that woman turned around, and then he had to snap back into this mode. So I think the risk there was him just kind of giving up or getting distracted with thoughts of Kyria and potentially buying a gift for her, and then when this woman turns around, snaps him back into why he's actually here.
Right. And why is that?
I've got to study, and I've got to see what's happening here, and what context I could bring back, and what these humans are doing in the slums. If they can do it, so can we.
They're not human, Skyless. You've studied humans, you've watched them, you've tracked them. They have more of a lupine movement to their eyes.
Aye. Very well. I think when she looks at me, that's when I probably start to see.
Absolutely.
And then, like a flash, I think. And I will then pay for it. And then I'll leave.
Got what you
Rather
came for.
quickly through the entrance. I
Sure.
exit. I go around back. I climb up to the top of the building, and I make my way north a bit more before I go south and around. But I stop for a moment onto a chimney that is not lit, and I sit and I watch the bakery, thinking.
What are you thinking?
About the writ. About not being able to track down the person who took it. And if these people down there know of a way that they could be better at tracking, if they are at all, I could use their help.
I think I know another underlying thought, but I'll keep that to myself.
Aye.
Aye.
And then after a while he makes his way eastward, then south, and then jumps off the building, slides down a rain gutter, lands in the streets and walks back, smelling
Alright.
bread on his hands.
So fresh. So fresh. Galen.
Galen's in the dark, in his room.
Ah. I see. No low light whatsoever, just pitch black.
He's
It's
laying
alright if he
there,
is.
waiting, sort of anticipating when Kyria will come to visit. If he has the lights on, he'll read. And he's supposed to rest, but he's
You
thinking.
listened. Got it.
He's not reading,
No.
but he's thinking. There's so much information you need. I wanted to talk to Césaire, but a lot of books. A lot of books. But Kyria will be here.
Probably, yeah.
Yes, she will be here.
Sure.
But do you think if I mean, but it's good because Skyless is not here, so she should just be here before Skyless returns, and then that will be good. If that happens, because he shouldn't be here. It's difficult to explain. Technically.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't think about that. I guess you're right.
Well, because she's not technically working right now.
No,
So-
no.
So because nothing's been set up, so she's not working. So if I hire her for a session, but she's not working, then he will, I don't know, get jealous. He'll have thoughts.
Oh, wait. If she's not working, why would she see you?
Of course she'll see me.
She's not working, you just said.
I know, but she'll see me.
Well, she saw you earlier.
Well, she told me to come to my room.
Yeah.
So she'll be here.
She told you
Yes.
to go to your room.
Yeah, so she'll be here.
Oh. All right.
I mean, she wouldn't... Wait. What are you implying? She wouldn't... I mean, I know nothing is set up, so she's not technically working, but...
No. Well, she thinks about you that way, then.
Well, I'd like to think that we have an understanding. I mean, she had a strange face on her. Sometimes she gets emotional about things, but...
Apologies. I thought it was a business understanding. I didn't think it was any more than that.
No, I mean... Well, it is business, but, I mean, I like to think...
Right, but she's not working.
Yes, but
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Gail. I'm just trying to understand here.
Are you saying that she's not going to come? Because she...
No. I have no control over her.
Well, neither do I.
Right. Sorry, I'm just thinking aloud, I suppose.
She had that strange look on her face when I mentioned something about the living on afterwards, which she
Right, the whole necromancy thing, yes.
I wouldn't call it necromancy. I mean, some people might. I would just call it more like an interest in...
You don't need to lie to me, Galen.
Well...
You don't need to.
I don't think that anything was broken between us, she and I.
I don't know her thoughts. I did claim earlier to her, but that was mostly just to throw her off balance, but I don't know her thoughts.
So you couldn't tell me? She didn't tell anything to you?
I wouldn't tell you anyway.
Oh.
You know that.
Well, I thought perhaps we were getting an understanding between ourselves.
Oh, we were? Would you like a deal, then? It's not in your favor.
Oh. Well, perhaps I'll wait an hour for her to arrive.
Sure.
In my room. And then if she doesn't arrive, then we could talk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you'd like to talk to me if she doesn't arrive?
Well, I mean, really I should probably talk to Cesar, but you said you had a deal, and I kind of need something, and if she doesn't arrive, I mean...
Right, what do you need if she doesn't arrive, Galen?
I need to go, maybe.
Go where?
There's a woman who is working right now.
You're correct.
I was told. I was ordered to wait, so I'll wait an hour. Just an hour.
That's
just
fair. You must always follow your orders, that's true.
Yes. Yes. Also, I don't... Listen, it is a business arrangement, but...
Yeah, of course.
But I like to think of her as my friend as well.
That's rather presumptuous of you.
I think she has feelings for me, and I have feelings for her. Not what you're thinking, not whatever you're thinking, but we are close.
I'm glad you presume as well as what I think. That's fair.
Well, I don't know what you're thinking, but you could be thinking things, and I don't want anyone thinking things. Or maybe I do want them thinking things.
That bothers the hell out of you, doesn't it?
Well, I just want them to think the things I want them to think.
Of course.
And it would be good if they think some things and not other things.
Right.
Oh,
and you wish that of me too.
Well, I don't control you, and I'm not quite certain if you're a spirit that's talking to me or not. Spirits do talk to me sometimes, you know.
I know. I'm aware. I'm not one.
Just what a spirit would say. Oh.
True that.
Well, she'll be here. She gave me orders.
I'm sure she would. Don't let that fester.
I will then. Just thinking.
Of course, you're always thinking, Galen. How long has that worked out for you?
It's working out very well. I found many secrets.
Oh. Secrets, sir. What give you meaning?
It's not the secrets, it's the knowledge.
I
think I'm bleeding again, or...
Oh, you definitely are. Thought they told you not to study. You're doing it again.
Those people. Do you know I sometimes don't know if I'm bleeding in this place or in the spirit realm? Isn't that funny?
Why not both?
Maybe both.
Both.
I should get up and maybe take notes on this idea of bleeding this. No, she ordered me to stay.
That's studying. Good job. Good listening.
She'll be here.
Do I hear a knock at the door, or is that your imagination?
Come in.
Galen, are you still awake?
Yes. Yes, I was waiting for you.
Good.
And that's where we'll end the episode.
Wow!
Nice. That was awesome.
That was
Hello,
insane.
everyone.
Yep.
Oh,
So
no,
glad
I think
you-
it was
Hello.
perfectly sane and calculated.
Yeah, my butt
Perfectly
can make a diamond right now. There was so much tension that entire fucking episode.
It was awesome.
And it'll be just a
I
present.
find it as tense at all.
Yeah, it's
It
fine.
was fine.
He's, since there's so much like his brother, that is...
Oh, that was so painful. So painful.
I thought it was delectable.
You'll see.
Yeah, you
You'll
would.
see. You don't have
You'll all
to be
see.
mean and suspicious and anxious.
No.
Treat others as you wish to be treated. I shall
the
treat
golden
you the same.
rule. Everyone's doing such a good job of that.
Come
Yeah.
on, guys.
No, you should definitely trust us and not be suspicious of us.
Absolutely. Well,
No reason to.
I think it's a perfect time to do some end of session.
Yes.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think we'll start with Galen today.
Hi. Hey,
Hello,
how you doing?
Galen. Hi, I'm doing great.
I'm going to give my love real quick to PB's discussion with both Wretch and also the Pit Lord. That's all. That's me. Let me give my love.
Yeah,
That's my star.
That was anxiety inducing. It was very
And
tough.
it was the best.
That was awesome.
Good, I succeeded then.
Yeah. Mental chess. That's always fun.
Uh-huh.
So,
Thank
yeah,
you, by
you want
the
to
way.
ask me some questions? You were... Love.
your end of session, yes.
Yeah,
I believe, did you roll anything desperate, Galen?
I did resolve for my attune.
And I
like to.
believe you did. You were very desperate in that. That would mark an experience specifically under your resolve.
I have done so.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It just means more knowledge.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that just seems reasonable to me. Now, for that, let's look at the other things. Did you address a challenge with knowledge or arcane power?
I did. Both, actually. I got to meet friends. Hopefully friends. Future friends. And I let them know that I know things. And I use my arcane power in order to help me open my spirit up and project it outwards towards them.
I think you'll get
Certainly.
one experience for that.
Yes.
The arcane power.
And yes, I expressed my beliefs very
so?
much.
I believe you, but I'd like to hear it.
Yes. Too many people are just attached to bodies as if they're important, and they're not. The spirit is important. Bodies can be replaced.
True that. Lord Mori would agree.
Yes. They can always be
Sorry,
replaced.
spoilers.
Oh, don't worry. Friends. So I definitely expressed my beliefs. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Did you struggle with a vice,
Oh,
Galen?
I have not been able to indulge in my vice yet.
I didn't say indulge. That was a different word.
Is it?
Did you struggle with your vice, Galen?
I was so distracted. It was difficult. I don't know. There was a meeting with this pit lord. I wasn't really paying attention. I was thinking too much.
Can I just come in and defend him here?
Yeah.
Because
Please.
that
please,
entire
yes.
final scene was you struggling with your vice
Yeah.
on whether or not I was going to arrive or not. I'd say
Oh,
that
was
was a
it?
struggle.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I would have thought that, but I didn't want to assume for him. You know how
so
assumptions
Of course
are.
not, but I can see you're trying to trick him out of some experience points, so I just
I
thought
would
I
never
would.
do such a thing. I would
I was
never.
just so
I'm on
distracted.
to you.
Who, me?
I'm on to you.
Yeah, yes. Well, if Kyria says that I was struggling with my vice, then she's right. She knows.
I think she does know. You're right. Okay.
She knows.
I'll
Wow.
allow it.
That's it, is it? The game isn't over until the stream is done.
It seems like it.
Cool, awesome. That's fine.
What did you think, Pumpkinberry?
Nothing. I'm just, okay.
I am the GM of consequences.
All right.
There's
Kyria
a
looks
period
out
at the
for
end
me.
of that sentence.
Kyria looks out for me. She protects me.
I believe it.
I'm trying.
I know. Oh well, though. That's okay. Kyria, your end of session. Don't give me that look. It doesn't do you well.
End of session.
Yes.
Wow.
I think I get experience for doing that, taking stress, right? I don't really know how it works entirely. Right?
You get
Do
stress
you?
for desperate rolls.
You get.
Is that not what that was?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that was you just pushing yourself a little
Okay.
harder, which is fair, but no experience for that.
Got it.
If there was something desperate you did, then yes, you
Okay.
would get experience to the specific stat.
Got it. Okay, so addressed a challenge with deception or influence. I did do that a few
I'd
times,
agree.
I'd say.
I'd agree.
Okay.
It says multiple, and I think you could get 2 experience for that because you did that multiple times
Thank you.
to some of your party members too.
Yes, thank you very much.
But I'll keep that to myself as well.
She would never.
Never.
No,
I mean, she might
not
to other
once.
people, but she wouldn't to me.
Not to you, Dimples. Definitely not to Galen.
No.
Definitely not.
I mean, she'd lie to Skyless all the time, really.
Would she? I'll think about that later. Did you express your beliefs or heritage or background?
I
Kyria?
think I expressed my beliefs twice, at least. Once to Dimples and once to Galen. I thought that they were, their plan was unnatural and not okay.
Yeah, I think you did actually. You can take 2 experience for that as well.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Did you struggle with your vice? It could have been an internal struggle. I'd believe you.
Not my vice, but my trauma.
You don't technically have a trauma yet, I don't think.
Not according to your character sheet, you don't.
Don't we have the death of a certain someone as a trauma?
Well, I mean, if you'd like to mark a trauma for that, I will absolutely let you.
No, that's okay. Nope.
Oh,
Nope, I won't do it. Nope, I'm good.
We have character trauma, but nothing that started since last week, which
Yep.
is when we started measuring the character sheets.
Yep, got it.
all right, Kyria.
Yep,
if
nope,
you
I'm
don't
good.
want a trauma, I wouldn't bring it up again, or
Nope.
you will have one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is fun.
This is so fun.
Good.
Great.
Okay.
That's what I want.
I think I'm
glad
done,
you're all having fun.
by the way.
You're done?
So fun.
I love.
Yep.
Go follow Pumpkinberry. Go follow Trooper
Please don't.
SJP.
Follow us.
Oh, please do.
Or don't. It's fine. Okay. I'm
Skyless.
Yep.
Hi.
Hello, Skyless.
Me, Skylar.
It is you.
Uh-huh.
What would your end of session be? I believe the first question is, did you roll any
Yep.
desperate rolls?
Yep.
You did
I would say I did.
You did? Hold on, let me double check again.
Oh,
I
desperate
see.
being.
I see
being,
controlled. I see risky. I don't see any
no.
desperate.
No, I
No.
didn't. Excuse
No
me.
desperate for you. Only Galen chose to be as desperate
Got it.
as he was.
Got it. But
Galen's
fair,
always
the
desperate.
word desperate of
sorry.
me
I
risking
know.
myself.
No, I mean,
All
you
right.
did risk yourself. But that's why it was in a risky situation, not a
right.
desperate one. That's okay, though. That's all right.
Galen is super desperate. That's true.
Did you address a
10
challenge or
years
more?
desperate.
All right, you're talking over me at
I'm
the
so
moment.
sorry. I'm
That's
so
okay.
sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I'll forgive it this time. But did you address a challenge with tracking or violence, Skyless?
Yes. I mean, in the narrative, I addressed the challenge of tracking. But when it comes to roles and such, mechanically, I don't think I did.
I didn't talk about rolls.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think I did when he was had that reminder of losing the writ.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that'd be one experience for that.
Okay, and that goes in my where tracking.
That goes under playbook advancement. You'll see it up above the questions on your character sheet. Bottom left.
Aye, thank you.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, background at all?
Yes.
When?
I am human. And I think potentially his entire his entire place on the roof and just his inward thoughts and everything like that, I believe he did. And I think also maybe that entire scene.
I'd give you 2 experience for that, Skyless.
Okay. And I'll take it.
Did you struggle with any issues with your vice? Or traumas? If you'd like a trauma, if you don't have one.
I think we should just do this every session. Just yes. Because there's a lot, like it's almost any time there's any sort of interaction and he has to just bite his tongue or bite his lip. I think that is one, but
I'd agree with that. You get 1 experience for it, not 2 though.
Yeah,
I could agree with that statement, Skyless. You're in a predicament with your vice, and I'll leave it at that.
And that's it, I think.
Wonderful.
And when I get all of these things, when all these ticks turn red, we level up. Is that what happens?
That is correct. You can pick another ability when you do so.
That's exciting.
That is exciting. I agree. Césaire, how are you doing?
Fantastic.
I love to hear it. I don't believe you had any desperate roles.
No.
No. That's all right though. Did you address a challenge with violence or coercion today?
There was no need. Everybody was being kind and welcoming to us all day.
They were so wonderful. You're absolutely right. You didn't need to coerce anyone.
No.
No. Now, did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, background, any of that?
Twice. Yes.
Once to the undead ghoul.
To wretch, yes.
As I told him of the order, the return of the order.
You did. That was risky.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. You're right.
And once to Kyria at the end.
I agree with that statement. 2 XP for you for that. Did you struggle with your vice, Césaire?
I think so. I think it's pretty simple. So I will say one thing. I updated my vice. Whatever you are.
You what your vice? I missed that. I'm sorry.
I updated it. If you want to look on the sheet, you'll see. I realize now that I think I had to be more specific with it, so I gave it a little more specificity.
That's what I interpreted. Admittedly, I interpreted it that way, Césaire. But I appreciate the update nonetheless, and I agree with your statement. I think you I think you struggled with it at least once.
Césaire's perspective of what that is, right? Because he doesn't really have any formal anything.
Absolutely.
So I would say that the only real struggle I had was right at the very end when I didn't question that Galen would do anything untoward with.
And that's the word I was looking for.
With regards to spirits and vessels and things, and it just seems to be fine so long as everybody's in agreement. Why would it do any harm to bring a vessel, a spirit back to a vessel of any kind?
Wretch was very forward on their thought processes and requests.
They're fine. They're living in their little homes. They got rugs. They're fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was
They were
beautiful.
doing-
They have
We're doing
rugs.
business with them. They were
Yes.
nice enough. They let us in. They're just people. People are people.
I do not disagree. You are very progressive, Cesare. You see
you.
undead, and the first thing your thought is, they're people. And
They're
you
just
know,
people. What's the difference?
I
between
might
them and us?
disagree, but I appreciate that you have that thought process.
Thank you. I asked the difference, and nobody really gave me a straight answer, other than that they're just a little jumbled up.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think you got an XP for struggling with your vice because of that.
Right, and Kyria kind of confused me a little as to whether that was morally correct or not. I think as long as it was all done ethically.
So it
Then what's the harm?
seemed everyone was talking the correct ways and being nice to each other. I think it was perfectly ethical.
Yeah. So for the wobble at the end, I will take an XP point for that, but I think that was it for me.
All right. Wonderful. And that's Brad Woto. And I missed it as well. Mythomatic playing Skyless. All of them both, if you so desire. And I am Domestic Dan, your GM of Consequences.
Are you?
I'm more the Lord of Helios today on Sundays, but we can not worry too much about that. And this was Feint Dawn. Thank you everyone for being here. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next week. Have a pleasant day.